I learned that my wife was adventurous in high school and in college, but after she moved to a new city, she wanted to put it all behind her. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, we're doing part 2 to the story I did earlier, titled, I Found My Wife's Old SCX Tape. Now our marriage is on the rocks. If you have any advice, please share. And guys, I know I did this earlier, but the quick recap. This is about the guy with his wife for 7 years, or he's known her for 7 years and married part of it. They have a daughter together. And he doesn't exactly have a very fun life in the bedroom. Barely one at all. And one day he finds a videotape from his wife's college days of her rolling in the hay with not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 other dudes and a gal. Doing all sorts of things that you could probably, your wildest imagination can figure out. But the interesting thing is, his wife claimed when they got together, she only had you-know-what with only one guy. And she is disgusted by all sorts of different adventurous acts, so he got the bare minimum in the bedroom. No BJs, no fun, interesting positions, no toys or anything else that he can imagine, just the boring vanilla SCX. And as you can imagine, he's pretty upset by that. And he confronted her, and he got the waterworks and the drama, and she says, I'll do anything to make it up to you, and I'll do all those things. No, he's not having it. Because he realizes, obviously, she's settled. And that's what happens. These guys realize women settle for them because they want a rock on their finger. They're done playing with the bad boys, so they find their nice guy, Mary. And he gets the bare minimum. Classic story. And now he's done with her, and he's separated from her. He's considering talking to his brother, who's a lawyer, and divorcing her. But there's a part of him that also thinks maybe I can make this work because of the daughter and all that. So now we're on to part 2, and you're going to see what this guy does. It says here, I read all your responses, and I have to say a couple things. Please actually read my posts, not read what you think it says. In no way did I say I feel entitled to SCX, nor do I care about her past. I'm upset about the deception. Please stop wasting my time. I thought long and hard about this, and although we have our issues, I'm willing to work past them. So he really claims he doesn't care that she had a wild past. His big problem is that she lied to him, and obviously, in spite of what he's saying here, he was upset that she's not being adventurous to him in the sack. And in my opinion, it's crazy he doesn't care about her past. I mean, let's be honest here. And 2, that understandably, that she's not willing to do those things with him. But then he says here, it's about the deception. And if you can't trust in a marriage, it's not going to work. I think she's a great mother and life partner. For those reasons, I will try to work things out with her. Don't worry, guys. It will end differently. I decided that the best course of action would be to pursue an open marriage agreement. Bad idea, dude. That's going to make things even worse. So that way I don't have to have her drudge for the SCX with me, and she likely doesn't enjoy. And if she wants someone she can share her wild SCX with, she can do that as well. I can find someone who fulfills me sexually as well. Smack, smack, smack. That is going to make the situation even worse. You're okay with her going out with other guys and doing all that stuff all over again, and but not with you. Really. And you're going to hook with other women. Yeah, that's going to work out real well. Maybe you want to read across Reddit to see the stories, how that ends disastrous. I'm not believing a lot of things she is saying, and rightfully so. She has lied for 7 years. So now she'll be judged on her actions, not her words. Some of you guys mentioned that there might be an infidelity in her part. So I ended up calling her. I told her I want to work things out. I ended up coming back home for a bit. Summary of our conversation. These aren't quotes. We talk for hours, so here you go. He says, my trust in you has been shaken, and I'm doubting if you were faithful to me throughout our marriage. For that reason, I want to get a DNA test for our daughter. Kaboom. She says, I swear I didn't sleep with anyone else. I'm sorry about lying, but I didn't sleep with anyone else. He says, then why does it matter? I just want it for peace of mind. I deserve that much. She says, that's fine. He says to her, I don't want another child, at least not now. If our marriage gets better, maybe in a couple years we can reconsider. The wife starts crying for a while, of course. Our original goal was to have 3 kids, but I don't want to bring any more kids until we have a stable household. Eventually, she stops crying after I start to walk out. The wife agrees to the condition. The power walking away, huh? He says to her, I understand you have a wild past. That's putting it mildly. And I don't want you to have to do the things with me that you don't want. Although you say you want to do them now, you will always harbor resentment. You didn't want to do it for 7 years. I understand that. I would ask you why you felt that way. I'm curious as to why you don't want to do these things with me. But no matter what you tell me, I don't believe what you say. Well, then this is not going to work because you don't trust or believe anything she says, dude. And the open marriage is a horrible idea. And yes, no one should do physical acts, speaking in code here, that causes them pain or physically, mentally, emotionally. But the point is, she was more than willing to do those in the past with guys and gals all at once and record it. But her own husband, come on here. It's because she's not attracted to him and she's settled. And I guarantee you, if they'd open marriage and she went out with other dudes, she'd be right back to doing those guys whatever they wanted. She says, I swear it's not because of you. I didn't want you to think that I was SLUT. I want to do those things with you. No, you don't. You just want to save the marriage. He says, I tried for 7 years. Trying out a new position wouldn't have made you that way. Look, you obviously have your reasons. Dude, do you not realize the reasons? Come on here. But even if you don't want to do them, in the back of my mind, I will always think you are doing it out of guilt. No matter what, the type of sex will always be tainted with you. So for that reason, I don't want to try anything new with you in that department. You didn't want to do it for 7 years. All this video showed me as you like doing those things in the past with other people. Oh, it showed a lot of things, my friend. So then what are you staying with her for? So you're just going to be fucking roommates, raising the kid together. You're not going to be happy. She's not going to be happy. This is not going to go away. And I get he doesn't want to go through the misery that is divorce in America, but still. She says, I still want to do them. We can work it out. I swear I want it. How can I prove it to you? Well, I can think of a few ways she can prove it to him. He says to her, the thought will always linger. Let's just ignore it. I would rather open up our marriage. You can sleep with other people. I can sleep with other people. We can set ground rules. But I don't want me or you to have to be sexually repressed anymore. Terrible idea. And the fact that he doesn't care if some dude goes nailing her again, that shows that obviously he's not really in love with her. She says, I don't want to sleep with anyone other than you. And I don't want you to sleep with other women. I can give you anything you can get with these women. Well, I think you should end it with her because for a ton of reasons, but hey, if she's saying she wants to do certain things, he can have a final roll in the hay. He says, well, I do want to sleep with other women, and it's not just the specific act, but the fact that they want to do it. SEX means a lot more to me than sensation. To me, it makes me feel desirable. It's a validation of love. Look, you can say what you want to say, whether you like it doing something or not. If you don't like giving BJs, that's fine. But the fact that you put up getting double teamed for 2 random schmucks, but won't do that for your own husband, hurts me. Can't blame him. It's one thing you didn't do it for anyone, but that's not the case. I would like to know your reasoning, but even if you tell me the truth, I think you are lying. I want that validation. Since I haven't gotten it from you, I will get it from other people. Nobody can blame him for wanting to be desired. Have the gal being attracted to him instead of doing it out of duty. She says, I'm not going to go through with this. This is going to ruin our marriage. I don't want you to sleep with anyone. Why can't we try working on our marriage? And again, he's round for round here. He wants to open marriage, which is a bad idea. She says it's a bad idea, and she's right. And she wants to do those things, but he knows he doesn't trust her sincerity. It's not going to work. He says, look, I'll give you a couple days to decide if you want to go through with it. If you don't, that's fine. I wouldn't mind giving up on our marriage either. She says, I want to save our marriage, but that's not okay with me. He says, those are my conditions. If you don't want to follow through with them, let me know. I really want to divorce, but this is the only arrangement I see it working. I'm going back. Let me know if you are okay with my request. If you want to go to counseling, you can. I'm not wasting my money on that. Well, counseling usually is a waste of money. So that's that. I don't know if opening our marriage is the right course of action, but to me, it's just about the only thing I can consider. Dude, you made it clear you don't care if you want to get divorced, or you want to get divorced, and the open marriage is a terrible idea. Now, if this is a way of punishing her, it's going to work, but still. And in fact, if they do the open marriage, and he goes hooks up with other women, and they divorce, she can say and have her lawyer say, look, he's out there cheating with other women. That will make things even worse for him in the divorce. He says, here's some things my wife told me, and I don't know how true they are. He says, I learned that my wife was promiscuous in high school and in college. You're figuring that out just now? But after she moved to the new city, she wanted to put all that behind her, because she had every dude in school putting it behind her. There was no trauma involved, never was raped or anything else. She just thought guys looking to marry wanted a lady in the bed. She wasn't aware she had the video. Supposedly it was from when she was moving from college and it got lost. It's funny how these videos always seem to get lost. She wasn't ever planning on telling me about her past. It was a secret she was going to take to her grave. All girls have skeletons in their closets. And some gals, right here, have fucking Arlington National Cemetery of skeletons in their closet. I told you guys how I feel. If you have any ideas how to fix our marriage, please share. I told you how I feel about the SCX and what it means to me. I don't want you to tell me that I am wrong for having those feelings. You're not wrong for having those feelings, man. But you are wrong with going with the open marriage option. Besides divorce or open marriage, do you have any other suggestions? And don't tell me marriage counseling. It's a waste of money. If you haven't been there before, then please don't recommend me. I told my wife if she wants to go for individual counseling, she's welcome to do so, but I will not be joining her. Please share. I'm not going to be guilted and shamed for my desires. If she finds my demands unreasonable, she has the opinion to reject them. She's a grown woman herself. Now, little updates. He says here, we tried to have a sincere talk about her feelings. I tried my best to understand where she was coming from, but at the end of it, I don't believe a word she says. No trust, no relationship, dude. I couldn't. I told her I can't. Trust and intimacy have been broken. The more I think, the more it creeps into my mind. I can't be with someone where I second guess myself. Looking for other women for validation won't work. I don't want to torture her for her past either. I learned what a good bit from this relationship. I learned what a good bit from this relationship, and I will take that with me to the women I meet in the future. If I meet a girl and she doesn't satisfy me sexually, I'm not going to wait for her to open up or overlook it. That's very smart. I realized over the years of being married to my wife how much suppressing my desires got to me and how it made me an angry person. Regarding divorce, I'm going to talk to my brother in person soon. I've asked him to come over. I don't want this to be a blown-out family ordeal, but I could at least use his support. Good. All guys need that support. The wife has a skin condition that my insurance has been covering. I'm not going to try to deprive her of that, and hopefully I can make arrangements so she can continue getting treatment after we separate. I will use this as a bargaining chip in divorce arrangements, if she won't grant me joint custody or won't do a fair split of the assets. The wife still wants to work on the marriage. I told her I'm drained. I still love her, but I don't think she loves me, and for that reason, I cannot stay. Pay attention to people's actions. Her actions have shown that she doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't love him. She's settled. Intimacy to me is an expression of love, and she gave it to other people, but was reserved with me. You might have a different view, but that's how I see it. I've already made my moves financially. I'm going to start communicating with her through email, so I have a solid log of all our interactions. Very smart. At this point, if he's done, if they're getting divorced, really there's no reason to talk to her except for dealing issues with the kid. And have all communication be a record of it. That's the smart way to go. Little update again. He says, the wife has been constantly calling. Her mother called me recently and told me I need to meet with her before she hurts herself. That's always the thing. The family gets involved and the wife's going to hurt herself or something like that. But if the situation was reversed and the wife left the guy and the family called her and said he's going to hurt himself, she'd be like, tough shit. I don't know what to do. I tried calling her and she's panting, crying, etc. and sounds self-destructive at this point. I want to take our daughter from that environment. I don't know what to do at this point. So that is the end of his story. Pretty abrupt. You unfortunately don't get to find out what happens with the wife and the daughter and all that, but I'm assuming they probably part ways one way or another. So guys, the point of the whole thing is this, is that if you are a relationship guy, which a lot of you are, whether you want to admit it or not, and you're thinking about marriage one day, please be aware if there's nothing has changed about you since you were younger, teenage years, college years, you're the same guy personality-wise, you haven't suddenly had a surge of confidence and charm, and you haven't gone from being overweight or super skinny to be a fit-looking, good-looking guy, and girls are suddenly paying attention to you only because you've gotten a decent paying job and some resources, and they're getting close to 30, be careful. Do not trust the sincerity, because a lot are trying to settle. They want that ring, they want that wedding, not the marriage, they want the ring and the wedding, okay? And it's not because they suddenly grew up and saw the light. No, it's because the guys they really wanted, they realize aren't going to be good providers, or they don't want them, or even if they will settle, even if the bad boys will marry them, they're not going to be good providers and reliable to raise kids and all this. So they're looking for you. And this type of shit happens. The guys get the bare freaking minimum. They don't treat them the same. They don't love them the same. They sure as hell don't F them the same. And be aware also, guys, that I get everybody has a past, but nowadays the way things are, thanks to the Fness movement, encouraging gals to spread their wings, if you will, and be free. Everybody has a past, and nowadays they really have a past. And thanks to social media and things like OnlyFans, that past is for the world to see somewhere, and you don't want to be married to that. So just be aware of that in your selection process, and be careful. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.